our fingers crossed, on that one. But away from that, let's bring the latest coming from tennis as Nigeria have been drawn in the challenging group for the 2026 ITTF World Team Table Tennis Championship Finals, where they will face Hong Kong, Saudi Arabia, and South Africa in Group 15 of the men's competition. The draw was conducted yesterday at the Shard in London, officially launching celebrations for the centenary edition of the World Championship, which will run from April 28 to May 10, 2026. Nigeria's men team, led by African top-ranked player Quadrona, will face a demanding group that include Hong Kong, renowned for its highly talented young players, Middle Eastern powerhouse Saudi Arabia, and familiar continental rivals South Africa this time around. Mike, this is a very tough pairing for the Nigerian side.
Definitely a tough pairing, but not one that we cannot, go through. It's just that the fear here is about the, loss of form of Nigerian key players. Haruna Quadri has been battling since last year. It's not been an impressive outing for him. It's either he gets, knocked out in the preliminary round of any major competition, or he get knocked out in the round of 36 against relatively players that you should expect him to win with ease. And this is my fear. And then again, you talk about the global rankings, you discover that the Asian countries, they always dominate. Even as we speak presently, the Asian countries, they dominate the world of table tennis right now. We are having the likes of Hong Kong, Saudi Arabia, in our group, and then South Africa. And then it means that we have a whole lot on our, hands to do. And preparations will start right now for Haruna Quadri and other of our representatives to ensure that at least we come out of that group and see how to, at least better our performance compared to the last outing, because the last outing of the ITTF World Championship was a disastrous and a very poor outing for Nigerian team. And I hope that this year's edition, they are going to, improve their, or better their outing this time around.
All right, let's see how this one, of course, will go down. We wish the Nigerian table tennis team the very best in this one. Still talking tennis, the Australian Open has altered its schedule for the second time in 4 days because of extreme heat, with temperatures expected to reach 42 degrees Celsius in Melbourne today. The start of the wheelchair event featuring British defending champion Alfie Hewett, Gordon Red, and Anti-Lapton have been postponed until Wednesday, which is tomorrow. While play on the outside courts where the junior matches are taking place has been moved from local time. The 4 singles quarterfinals, which include world number 1 Kalozakaras and Arina Sabalenka, and various doubles matches will take place on both Lava Arena and Margaret Court Arena, both of which have retractable roofs and air conditioning system which allow play to continue in cooler conditions. Men's quarterfinal draws this time around will see Kalazakaras against Alex de Minaur, Alexander Zverev against Leonard Tin, and Lorenzo Musetti against Novak Djokovic, Ben Shelton against Yannick Sinner. Mike, first, before we look at the quarterfinal pairings, what do you make of the issue of heat this time around at the Australian Open? How has he affected the tournament?
I think it's been one of the challenge out there in the Australian Open, not just for this year's edition. It has been a recurrent decimal, all right, out there in Australia, especially in those areas where these games are taking place. It's been a very, very hot and very, high temperature region with about 40 Celsius, which for me I think is very, very high, and actually halted some of the game a few days ago because of the, humid and very, hot weather condition. Day 3 of this year's Australian Open, we saw or witnessed a ball girl, collapsing and fainting just because of the heat and the temperature, that was way, way too high. And I think for me, a lot needs to be done in order to see how to find a way to, reduce or tamp down the extreme heat condition, because when players are compelled to play under such a high, intensity, with the stress in throwing your hands while, pushing your racket to hit the ball, coupled with the extreme heat and weather condition, not even a professional of any sort can be able to cope with such weather. You discover that it's going to be extremely hard. In fact, it is the first distraction for you as a player, all right, because you are not comfortable playing. You are playing under extreme heat. If a ball girl could faint, a ball girl that is not throwing his hand with the racket could faint under such heat. How much more those of them that are the key players who are on the court, stressing themselves? Those, I think, is a very, very big challenge for this season. But I hear that organizers are trying to find a way, maybe either to open the roof or probably to add more AC. But even the AC that is already available, the high heat temperature overwhelms, the cool environment that the ACs were supposed to provide. So I think it's a very, very scary situation. As it stands right now, meteorologists have even further, given their own prognosis that the heat condition might even